So this is Italy, and this is Santa Maria Navarrese, or close to Santa Maria Navarrese, a beach called CALA MARIOLU or something of that sort. And when we were down bathing, we've been hiking here, so we're hiking back now. But when we were down swimming, my fiancée or my spouse fell into the water, and now her phone is dead. And you can see it's water inside, so I'm gonna open it up and try to dry it out. And I have to do it here in the field. So as we traveled here without any checked-in luggage, this is all the tools I have. These are all the tools I have. I think we have to do. I need to open up the back here, and probably it will break. But if I don't open it up, it will destroy all the electronics. So I need something to get into it. So the water's gotta go up, so I need to open it up, even though it's probably will break it. And normally I would do this with a heat gun, but it's worse if this breaks the phone entirely. So I used the toothpick from Victorinox to get it inside, and it worked. I didn't need a heat gun for this. And you can see all the water. This wiring has gotten stuck, and that's not working. This breaks, you won't have any up and down volume, I think. So now it's just a matter of letting it dry out and see what contacts have been eroded. I've been dropping a lot of phones in water, so I know what normally happens is that you get corrosion in all the connections. So you just pick it apart entirely and use anti-corrosion spray to remove it. And you can use what did I use last time? We had a brake pad cleaner, and it worked perfectly to remove the corrosion. But I can't do it now. We need to hike back, and we have a long hike. But what we could do now is just try open it up, so I'll let it dry at least. So I've been looking at this for a bit, and it's nothing more I can do. I don't have any contact spray, so I'll just let it dry out. But I can show you what I brought to Italy. We're in Sardinia now, and as we didn't check in our luggage, I couldn't bring any knives, so I just brought some of my most useful stuff. And you know these are matches from my other videos, and this is fire steel and some needles, you can see yourselves. And this is my most useful tool. This is a Victorinox scissors, and a nail file, and my I've forgotten the name, ruler. And of course the Knipex Cobra. I've been using it already several times. Last time I opened a bottle, maybe I'll show you in a video. Then, since we're hiking on a really treacherous path, we have brought a whistle, so we can make ourselves known to people without shouting, and a compass. You might know this from a Victorinox SOS model, and also a what's it called?
Temperature.
Temperature sensor, a thermometer. I don't know what to use that for, but it reads 30 degrees, but it's actually more. It's 32 degrees. So this is my free diving watch. I've been doing 36 dives, but not all of them down here. So continuing, since we're at it, I can show you what more we brought. since there is no mobile phone connection here, I brought a PLB, that is a emergency transmitter working on satellites. So I've had this for quite some years. I've been using it when I've crossed the oceans, and this is a really great tool to bring with you, or safety equipment. Yeah. So let's pack that up again. So basically that's it. And I also brought this you haven't seen before. Since I couldn't bring my classic or any other multi-tools, I chose to bring this small micro Phillips driver for my diving watch if I need to change the batteries. But otherwise quite rudimentary kit, and I can say that it's really hard to live without the knife. One more thing, we of course brought some rope as well, and some tape, some strong Gorilla tape, but both the Gorilla tape and the rope we forgot in our hotel, so we're without that. But if I really needed some rope, I could just improvise and get some rope from my backpack, or maybe this emergency transmitter. So you always have rope with you, but not that long. It turned out that bringing all this gear and emergency equipment wasn't that bad after all, since we just passed some tourists that had taken the wrong way up the mountain and were stuck on a ledge. They missed a turn or something somewhere and didn't know what to do, but the French guy who went by talked them into going back all the way down and back up the trail again. So they're about doing that right now as we film here. And that is a rule when you hike on mountains. Never try to take a shortcut. And if you're lost and cannot go forward, just always backtrack again and go back the way you came. It's always better.
Hoppas det håller.
These stairs might look a bit sketchy, but I think they were really well built and quite safe actually.
Håll det repet också.
If you're ever in Sardinia and like hiking, I can really recommend this hiking path down to CALA MARIOLU. It's a bit hard, it's like 2 hours there and 3 hours back. But at the end of the journey there you get to the beach and it's really worth the while. 32 degrees was a bit high for us though, and it's not recommended to go here during August, so just remember that it's much better to do that in the spring or autumn, of course. Or if you're a really good athletic guy or woman, you can of course do it in August as well. But remember to bring at least 5 liters of water, 1 liter per hour, I would say. And you need to be observant of heat stroke signs and know what to do if you run into that.
Vilken värme.
So I got hold of some start spray. It's not perfect since it freezes down the contacts, but it actually removes the corrosion. So I've cleaned up all the contacts, almost all of them. I didn't bother about these sensors. If they don't work, I'll go back and redo them. But I'm having a hard trouble to get this small antenna contact. I think it's a UHF contact, micro UHF back. I've tried with the pins with a toothpick. It doesn't work, so I'm thinking to use the pincer instead. Victorinox pincer. You can see here it's really tiny, these the place it needs to go back into. And for that job these pincers are quite okay. There, I think I got it. You don't want to damage the electronics with steel. It's placed now. So just need to push back these cable holders. This contact goes here. Like so. So obviously this, I couldn't have done this without the pincer and the toothpick. Those are like minimal tools for doing this kind of job. There we go. So, and then I'm happy I brought this one as well. It's a small screwdriver. It's perfect for these screws. So at this point I discovered that a contact for the main battery, the flex cable, was damaged, so I couldn't do much more. I had to order a new one. So at this moment I'm just waiting for that contact in the mail. You can see here it's last year when I dropped this phone I'm using right now into the water in Sweden, outside Gotland, Fårö. And we were baking some bread at that time in our improvised oven. So I decided to try and just dry out the phone a bit faster using the oven, baking the components. And believe it or not, but that worked just fine. And as we were camping in Sweden, I had my full kit in my car, and that included contact spray and brake cleaner, so I could clean up the circuits just fine. And the phone started up and worked just perfectly again. And it has been working fine ever since. But now back to Italy and Santa Maria Navarrese and our hotel room. I'll show you what else use I had for my carry-on kit. And being in a warm country, opening of bottles was a really common task, which the Knipex Cobra was perfect for. And the Victorinox scissors were used almost daily as well for cutting stuff. Here I'm just cutting a label of a t-shirt. And as I had no knife with me, I had to use the scissors for an improvised knife when cutting fruit. And it was possible using the Cobra to hold the scissors, as you can see here. But you don't get any deep cutting depth, of course. Oops. That was a close call, I almost cut my hand. But as you can see, for cutting lemon, this setup of Knipex Cobra plus Victorinox scissors works just fine.
Thank you for watching, and don't miss the next video where I change the flex cable and start up the phone again. If you've liked this content, please consider subscribing and sharing. Also, please consider liking the video.